for example 3, we have complementary angles. So we know that because of this little box here, this little square. So this angle plus this angle should equal 90. So you can set it up in an equation format. Angle x plus angle 68 equals 90. Really, you're just subtracting 68 from 90, which gives you 22 degrees. In part B, we have this angle 124 and this angle here, x, unknown, but they are on a straight angle. So they are supplementary, or they're also considered a linear pair. We know that this angle plus the 124 equals 180. So essentially, you're just subtracting from 120, or 124 subtracted on both sides gives you 56 degrees. Angle C is 43 and y are vertical angles, so they are the same thing. Then we know that this angle plus this angle is 180. So I'm going to take 180 minus 43, and that gives me 137. So angle X and angle Z are both 137. For letter D, for this one, let me get a highlighter. For this one, we can see that angle 72 degrees, right here, is a vertical angle to angle Y. Okay, so Y is 72 degrees. Also, looking at this line here, we have these two angles would add up to 180. So 180 minus 72. 180 minus 72, that gives me 108. And that would be angle X. Okay. For letter Z, okay, these two angles right here add up to 90. And I know that because this straight angle right here has 90 here. So 180, the whole thing, minus 90 gives me 90. So these have to add up to 90. So I would do 90 minus 72, and that would give me 18. And that would be my Z. In letter E, we have the measure of angle PQT is 3x plus 47. And SQR is 6x minus 25. These two angles are opposite angles, which are vertical. So this angle equals this angle. Now, it does say that we have to find the measure of angle SQR. So once we find x, we got to plug it back into this one to get x. So let's set up an equation. And we're just going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I would get 47 equals 3x minus 25. I add 25 over, and we get 72. And if I divide by 3, x is 24. Now, to find the measure of angle SQR, I got to plug that 24 into this expression here. So 6 times 24 minus 25. So 144 minus 25 is 119 degrees. Okay, for letter F, angle R and angle S are complementary angles. The measure of angle R is 12x minus 3, and the measure of angle S is 7x minus 2. You define angle R. So right here, this key word complementary, Hopefully you remember that that is 90 degrees. So to draw a picture of this, okay, this is angle R, this is angle S. This one is 12x minus 3, and this one is 7x minus 2. Okay, normally you wouldn't put R and S in there, you'd have like points on this. This is kind of just different a little bit. But we know that if it's complementary, these two expressions representing angles have to add to 90. So that would be 17 plus 2 more, so 19x. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5, equals 90. Then I would add 5 over and get 19x equals 95. If I divide by 19, I get x is 5. It does say that we need to find angle R as well, so I'm going to plug 5 back into R here. So 12 times 5 minus 3 gives me 60 minus 3, and that would be 57 degrees. Okay, for letter G, very similar, but instead of complementary, we have supplementary. So angle P and angle Q are supplementary angles. If angle P is 4x plus 1, and remember, this is not drawn to scale. So if this was your angle P, and it's 4x plus 1, and this is your angle Q, 9x minus 3, the sum of these would be supplementary, which is equal to 180. So combining my like terms, I get 13x minus 2. And that would give me, oh, oops, I wrote it twice, so sorry. So we would add 2 over, get 182. X equals 14. Then I plug that back into angle Q, and that would be 9 times 14 minus 3, which is 126 minus 3. So 123 degrees. Okay. For letter H, it says angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. If the measure of angle 1 is 113, find the measure of angle 2. Okay, so that's our x. It's unknown. So linear pair means that you would add your two angles and equal to 180. So x plus 113 equals 180. If I subtract 113, we get that angle 2 is 67 degrees. Okay? And then lastly, letter I, angle 1 and angle 2 form a linear pair. The measure of angle 2 is 6 more than twice the measure of angle 1. Find the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 2. So the measure of angle 1 is just x. We don't know. We know that angle 2 is twice x plus 6 more. We also know that we're dealing with a linear pair. So that's going to be 180. So I'm going to add my two expressions together and equal that to 180. So 3x plus 6 equals 180. Subtract 6. So it's 174 divided by 3, which is 58. So x, which is angle 1, okay, that's 58 degrees. We know that angle 2 is twice 58 plus 6 more, and I just plugged that in to angle 2 here. And that gives us 122 degrees. Now, to do a quick check, if you were to add these two together, angle 1 and angle 2 are a linear pair, so they would have to add back to 180. And if you do that, it does actually work out. So we know we did our math right.